So in today's video, I am going to be talking about what it's like having a baby in your 30s versus your 20s. I just recently had a baby and I have an 11-year age gap, and I have to say things are a lot different. I am going to be sharing with you guys both the pros and the cons. Starting with the pros. The pro number one is patience. I do find myself a lot more patient now than I did back in the days with my older two kids. The second pro is I do find myself just more conscious of all the small things. Like I noticed like the very first step, the very first time she tried to flavor food, the very first time she rolled over. I was 18 when I had my daughter and I was 21 when I had my son, and there's just a lot of things like I don't remember with my older two kids. Their childhood or their baby years is just a blur for me. When you're in your 30s, I will hope that you're more financially stable than you are when you're in your 20s. And when I had my first two kids, I was broke as a joke, okay? I was scraping pennies together on a daily basis. I was just young. I was working like retail jobs. So now that, you know, I'm in my 30s, I'm more financially stable, things aren't just as hard. And the last point I want to bring is now that I'm in my 30s having a baby, I am married this time around, which is a blessing for me because with my older two kids, I wasn't married. And you know, I was just definitely a single mom. I did it by myself. So this go around for me, I'm married. And you know, for some of you that may not be the case, but for me it is a blessing to have an active father in my child's life. But don't feel bad if this is not your case. Let's talk about these cons, because they do exist. They are there. They are real, okay? Con number one is I feel like I'm just so behind when it comes to just like all the new stuff. I'm constantly on YouTube. I hope my channel helped you out. Okay, that's why I review a lot of things, because I just be feeling lost. Like there's just so much stuff, like things have changed within the last 11 years or whatever. So you know, you are going to feel like you are behind on a lot of things. My number one recommendation to that is just, you know, go on YouTube channels. Don't go crazy though. Like be careful, you know, because there are just a lot of people that just go buy all these fancy things, every gadget. Like I just never been one of those parents, and I'm not one of those parents now, and I'm not about to become one of those parents. But just try to find that happy medium. The next con, Lord Jesus, I feel like my body took a long time to heal. I'm just cringing just thinking about how long it took me to heal down there. I would say that it took me like a good solid 10 to 12 weeks. If you relate to any of these points, drop it down in the comments below. And if you're that parent that's about to have a baby and you have a huge age gap like me, hopefully this video can give you some insights on what to expect. But at the same time, I'm not trying to plant any negative seeds in your mind as well. When I had my baby, my daughter at 18, my son at 21, the snapback was real. I snapped back in 5 minutes. With this baby, I'm still trying to snap back. My body held on to the baby weight much longer. The snapback may not be as real as you think it's gonna be. Don't have your hopes so high like I did. This is something I've never experienced, but I would say postpartum depression. Now, I did not experience like any like severe postpartum depression or anything like that. There were days I would just go into sadness. Now, I was very proactive. I tried to stay ahead of the postpartum depression. So when I would feel myself getting sad or just like, you know, in a slump, I did things to make sure that I didn't go down that road. It was tough. Like I was boxing postpartum depression every day, but thank God, like I made it through and I'm here. Another con to having a baby in your 30s is I find myself overthinking things. Before, like I didn't think twice about a lot of stuff. Like I'm talking about, I was dropping my baby off and I was going to the club. I go to work. I went to work like on my 6th week day, like I think I went to work a little before 6 weeks, if I'm being completely honest. I find myself overthinking everything, like, oh, is she eating enough? Is she eating too much? Or should I be giving her more veggies? You would have swore this was my first baby. Lastly, oh my god, y'all, let's talk about postpartum hair loss. Like, I never ever experienced that ever. My temples, like, yeah, them bitches, they went. They coming back, but they went. And it was just like, god dog, like, first it took forever for my body to heal. Next, I'm boxing postpartum depression every day, and now like you want to take my hair too? God, what? God damn, what else? So yeah, postpartum hair loss, I did experience that, which I've never experienced that before. But you know, they say it's a hormonal thing. Honestly, with the postpartum hair loss, I just think it's just all the hormones and the chemicals that we consume on a day-to-day basis, as opposed to 10 years ago. Like, everything is on 1,000 when it comes to like them steroids and stuff that they're feeding us. These are things that I noticed having a baby in my 30s versus my 20s. I'm curious to know, what are some of the things that you noticed? Were there any similarities, or was there anything else that I didn't mention that you feel like you've experienced? I'm sure my congregation want to know down in the comments below. But in the meantime, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe to this channel, hit that bell notification so that you don't miss another video from me. Ciao.